Football Network. This is a show that's at the beginning, and it really depends on you to keep it growing. We're going to be taking time answering your questions on Twitter, Facebook, email, and our YouTube channel. Feel free to comment. But you guys are the reason why we are here. We want to hear what you have to say. And I just want to take a moment and introduce our panel today. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
I'm Sheena. I'm a beginner fantasy football player, so only my second year. And I'm Team Saints. Who that?
I am Laurie Fitzpatrick. I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, and I am currently in 2 leagues. I've been fantasy football player for probably about a decade now, so I just love the game of football.
I also heard that you're an actual football player. You were at one point, too.
Yes, I was for about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a good time.
Very cool.
And I'm Brittany, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert yet, but I'm getting there. I am an Eagles fan, obviously. We bleed green, so
Absolutely.
High five, Deanna. And I'm really enjoying myself. I'm in 4 leagues right now, 2 which are paid leagues and 1 is not, or the other 2 are not. So I'm really excited to make some money at the end of this.
I want to piggyback on that. You said 4 leagues. I know that you're also a mother of 3 beautiful children.
Thank you.
How do you balance that, being such a busy mom and worker and actually being able to stay on top of 4 leagues?
Nap time is my prime time, and then bedtime. So you always want to make sure that you get your team set up. So I like to do it when I'm peace and quiet and I can focus and do some research on the next player that I either want to trade or pick up.
Very nice. Very nice. So before we get into our viewers' questions, I just want to go down the line and ask how you guys started with your fantasy football teams and why you got involved in the first place.
Well, I got started with coworkers. They were playing, and winning money. And green interests me. So I asked about playing, and at first they were like, no females. And then they did let females in.
Notice that there's all females at this table, too. So.
The first time they let a female in, she won the whole league.
Yes!
So now they let girls in every year, and I've been playing for 2 years.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
I started. I actually can't remember the exact year, but I remember the first quarterback that I drafted was Mark Bolger on the Rams. It was in a bar, and we had a board up, and it was so old school. And
Oh, nice!
it
Like
was
an actual draft party.
Yes,
and everything.
draft board, and
Nice.
it was so fun. Ever since then, I've been hooked. I don't really play a lot for money too much. It's usually just a smack talk league where we're going back and forth. We have a whole group chat going, so it's usually just for smack talk. But it's been a while. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful. You?
I started because my husband is a Cowboys fan.
Boo.
Boo. It's right. I'm actually an Eagles fan, and he started his own league, and he was always on it, and I wanted to be interested in something that he was interested in. So I'm like, hey, your league is a paid league. I bet you I'll win money in your league. So it was the first league that I've ever joined. It was his league.
Uh-huh.
It was a money league, and we're competitive, obviously. He's a Cowboys fan. I'm an Eagles fan. Talk trash. Same thing.
Yeah.
Talking smack all day long.
Yeah.
So not only did our teams compete, like Eagles versus Cowboys, but our fantasy teams competed. And I actually won the whole league my first year playing in his league.
Yes.
So not only did I get like bragging rights, but today he's like, don't embarrass me when you're on today. I'm like, chill, I got this.
All right, guys, so let's get into our first question. It comes from Fantasy Liz on Twitter. She says, I love football and want to start playing a fantasy. So how do I start?
I can answer that one for
Okay.
you. I have 3 kids, so anything free is for me. So I like the ESPN League and also Yahoo. You can download the app. It's free, and it gives you just basic instructions there, and you can either pick up in somebody else's league or start your own. So I like free, so that works for me.
Okay.
So definitely.
All right. Anyone else have?
I am just going to piggyback right over her. I love Yahoo. That's my favorite platform to go to for fantasy football. They have awesome notes right after the game on Sundays to let anybody
nice.
know if there's any injuries. Right before the game, it also lets you know if they're starter that week sometimes. If they're not practicing during the week, you may not want to play them. So it gives a lot of detailed information, and it also let you know there's a ranking system on Yahoo, so Yahoo is definitely my go-to.
That sounds like the perfect place for a beginner because it gives so much of that information, and definitely you wouldn't feel as lost, I would think, especially because it's free.
Right.
You don't have to feel so overwhelmed starting out. So
And the
good.
ranking system is awesome. So usually see 1 to 10 better visuals, so it's easier to navigate around.
Okay. And you just started. You said this is your second year.
This is.
What do you use?
I use the NFL Fantasy League.
Okay.
So it's not paid, but we kind of throw our own little wages
Oh,
and bets
okay.
in there.
Make it a little more interesting.
That's right.
All right. So let's move on. Our next one comes from Kenny_FF Rules, which is spelled RULZ. It says, what is the difference between non-PPR and standard?
There's not really a difference at all.
Just to piggyback on that, PPR stands for points per reception. So all the beginnings out there, I got your back. That is definitely something that you want to look into. Just know the rules of the game before you get started. So definitely what she said, it's really no different now. A lot of leagues are PPR.
All right, our next question is from Philly Fan. Another cool way to spell PHAN fan, okay. 5 on Twitter. It says, how does scoring work?
A lot of myths that I get, when I tell people that I play fantasy football, if they've never played, they're like, oh, how do you calculate your own points? Just relax. It's all done for you. You don't have to do it. It's all done
The
for
most
you.
important thing is to go into the settings and look into the league rules and actually go in there, because any league can be different.
Right.
So you really want to, if you're friends with the commissioner, just talk to him, text them, create a group chat, really get into it, and ask them. They can answer these questions for you. It's not. You don't have to be shy about asking these questions because every league is different. So
Yeah.
definitely ask and go into the settings. And
Right.
you'll really get everything from there.
Beautiful. All right, so our next one comes from, I can't with these names, Sir Wins a Lot on Twitter. And the question is, how can I practice to get better?
Coming from a beginner like myself, I feel like mock drafts were
Oh, yeah.
everything to me, because my first time playing, my husband did everything. I'm not going to lie. But this time around, I kind of wanted to do it myself. I wanted to know what I was doing and feel like I knew what I was doing and who I was picking. And, okay, it's a bye week. I need to take this person out and put this person in. But mock drafts and all that were everything.
Smart.
And I just asked questions. I asked other people who've been playing for longer than me, okay, so how do I do this so that I don't have the wrong person on the bench? And that's how I got a little bit better.
Yeah, I would say mock drafts. I'm just going to jump right off of that. And that may be all of our answers, because mock drafts literally is the best way to go. You also, you want to look at injuries every single week to decide who's actually going to be playing, because sometimes running backs can be week to week. But mock drafts, definitely. One frustrating thing about every single league that I've been in after all these years is, can you tell me what pick I am 2 days prior, please?
Right.
I want to know
Right.
what pick I am, because that's so important.
Yeah.
If you're picking first or second, it's a huge deal, especially this year when there was only really a top 4, top 5 players, compared to, if it's a 12, 13, 14 man league and I'm picking 10, I really like to know. So mock drafts kind of prepare you for any single position that you could be in. So
Okay.
I'll take a page out of Allen Iverson. Practice? You want to talk about practice? But no, yeah, practice is definitely the key. Exactly what they said. Practice, 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 practice. Mock drafts, again, you can, and then the mock drafts, they give you certain orders. You'll be 1, and then you'll be 5, and then you'll be 6. And then you can also see in the mock drafts who's taking who if they're number 1. So, and ESPN in the morning, I watch it while I'm eating breakfast. I will say this, the fantasy football community is huge now. It's blowing up. So there's a lot of websites out there, or just people in general, who will give you information about what's going on or what's new. So it's a lot of information, and they're pretty friendly out there. They'll let you know who's the baller or who's the crawler of the week. So definitely you'll feel really welcomed in there.
Awesome. Good to know. Our next question was actually sent via email, and the email for this is YOURFantasyFL@gmail.com, and it's from Jake. It says, how do I draft like a pro?
draft like a pro. I don't know if I draft like a pro. But
pen and paper.
Longer than all of us, though.
Right.
I'm no expert. I think like you said, when you first joined up in your husband's league, you won. You took it all.
Yeah.
And the first girl in your league, they took it all. Honestly, it's a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, drafting like a pro is really just watching fantasy more, or maybe, I work a 9-to-5 job, and Thursday games, they start kind of early, and you have to jump on it. You really have, Monday night to Wednesday to find out who's going to be on your bench or not. It's not a lot of time. These Thursday games have been killing me for fantasy, but I like the color rush, so I'm not that upset. But drafting like a pro, honestly, just watching. I watch the NFL Network in the morning. You watch ESPN, but I love watching the NFL Network. They kind of give you. They have a little fantasy segment part of their show. Just watching football more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good to know. Good to know. The next one is from Lauren, also via email. It says, how do I start a league with friends and coworkers, and what sites should I use? I know you guys already said that you have your sites that you prefer, but let's just try to help Lauren out as to how to get started.
It's really simple.
Is that free?
I thought it is.
Okay.
And I thought that it was going to be kind of difficult to maneuver, especially being my first time. I'm trying to figure out points and all this stuff, but my coworker, who is the commissioner, he broke everything down for us. And like you said earlier, we have the group chat, so we get to talk to each other back and forth. The messages come straight to my phone, and not only do we talk junk in those messages, we also figure out, okay, so wait, this point system, we need to figure out what's going on here. Like, explain this to me, or why did you change this, or when the rules change, everything is right there. You get notified of everything. So
that's good.
Yeah.
One good thing about my league being free, and this may be very frowned upon, but when I play another team, I want to play against the best team out there. Like, if I have a coworker that I know is super busy that week, and I acknowledge that he doesn't have a tight end, or it's a bye week, I may actually let him know, like, come on, like, the free ones, not the ones for money.
Right.
The free ones for bragging rights. Hey, you didn't put a tight end in this week. It's really all about communication, but, like I mentioned, and Yahoo is also my favorite site. I'm in 2 leagues, ESPN and Yahoo, so ESPN isn't bad either, but you really want to be careful from the mobile sites and the desktop, especially with Yahoo. Depending on your league, if you guys have an IR slot available, you can put a player in your IR, but you may not know that you have an IR slot on your mobile. But on the desktop, Yahoo shows it. So you just want to be careful, and you kind of want to go on both platforms.
Good info, Lori. And you also want to make sure, going back to setting your lineups, I think it was last year, ESPN, the app crashed. But thankfully, I had my lineup set up. But the app crashed, and so sometimes you just want to make sure, again, like, that your lineups are set. But ESPN was quick on it. I have a special part.
The drag and drop. I mean, honestly, sometimes it doesn't go.
Right.
You really have to pay attention.
But I'm an ESPN girl. Like, it's a little bit easier for me to navigate, only because the desktop, one of us is either using it, so I have to share that. So I like the ESPN one. It's good for a mobile one versus Yahoo. You can use that on a desktop. It's a little bit more useful there.
So Lauren obviously is really eager to start this with her friends and her coworkers, and maybe she may think that it's a little bit intimidating, because it sounds like she wants to be the commissioner of a league. Have either of you experienced that seat, actually being the commissioner?
Actually, I haven't.
No, me neither.
But like I was like the commissioner's right-hand man. He was asking me all types of questions, if he should do, a PPR league, or if we should have 2 quarterbacks, or 2 kickers, or 2 defenses, which I had one year where there was 2 defenses. He's asking me all these questions because I'm not like great at fantasy, but I love fantasy. I'm paying attention. I'm looking at these injuries. So he was asking me throughout the years, like, what do you like to do? How many points should I set this for? So, I haven't been the commissioner, but it's not that hard. Like, don't be intimidated, especially if you have a group of girls and you just want to start something up, and randomly, you don't tell your man about it, and then meet you, you're like, guess who got me points?
Right.
You're like, wait, what? Like, and you just set it up yourself. Like, it's stressful free. Like, honestly, it's not that hard. Like, just go in there, watch some videos about it, maybe some commissioner
our videos,
YouTube videos,
Yeah.
like, and just set it up, and it's awesome, and you'll have a great time. So bragging rights are the number one thing for me.
I mean, if you're doing it with your friends too, you guys can like be co-commissioners. Look up the information together. I'm like, hey, Deanna, like, we can start our own girls' league. Like, not really sure. Let's get it started. Can you help me? And I'm sure if your girls are just as interested as you in fantasy, you guys can help each other out. Girl power.
Girl power. All right, let's move on to Steve. This question comes from Facebook. It says, I want to play fantasy football, but I don't want to gamble. Where do I go? I feel like we answered this question like 10,000 times already, but there are plenty of free sites. Could you guys just reiterate the ones that you said?
ESPN is my favorite. I like the ESPN app. And you can download other information from other sports. So I'm a big Duke fan, so you can get updates from Duke. I'm a big Yankees fan, so my phone is constantly ding, 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 going off. So yeah.
Okay. Another free one was
Yahoo.
Yahoo, you said was your favorite as well, right?
Yeah, I love Yahoo. Free, it's the way to go. I mean, Yahoo's not paying for me for this, but
right.
I love it. So.
And I use the NFL Fantasy Network, and that one's free too.
Yep, free is probably the best way to go, I would say, especially when you're starting out, because there's no commitment there. It's all fun, bragging rights. As everyone said at this table, we are very competitive. So get you some competitive friends and just get started. Thanks, Lori. The next one comes, and this is our last question. It's Andrew from Facebook. It says, does a beginner's league need a commissioner?
That would be yes. Every league needs a commissioner. You got to have rules somewhere. You got to start somewhere. So that's yes.
Absolutely yes.
Yeah, the easy yes.
Yeah.
Easy yes for me too. You gotta set some ground rules. Like, somebody has to be in charge. Like, who to go to. You'll say, who do I blame? But honestly, the co-commissioner thing is a great idea. So just as long as you have a commissioner, set those ground rules.
I definitely agree with that. The co-commissioners, especially just starting out, and if you have friends that watch football, why not? Right. Just do it. Just get involved. Get on these websites that we're mentioning to you, and don't be afraid to do it. Just put yourself out there. They're free. It's fun. That's our last question for today. So like I said, this show is about you guys, your questions, but you have to make sure you send them in so we can keep doing this for you. And our most important one is Twitter. I know everyone has Twitter at their hand all the time, and our Twitter handle is at YOURFFL. Or email us at YOURFantasyFL@gmail.com. You can even send us via Twitter, email, or YouTube video questions, and we'll try and make sure we feature you on our next show. So this is our first show. We're wrapping up. It was such a pleasure having all you guys here, and I feel like this is going to be a really good success.
Well, it brought us together, so cheers!
I'm going to say, you're not going to drink?
No, but fantasy really does bring people just like this. I know a lot of guys go out and they hang out. Why can't we do it together as well? So fantasy brings everybody together, so I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
Same here. The draft is the best. It's the funnest part.
Right.
You got the Buffalo Wild Wings. You get to hang out, have some drinks.
Right.
Yeah. Great time. This is the best thing about fantasy, is just getting together and talking about it.
Right.
I love it. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Hello. Hey guys, I'm Deanna with Your Fantasy Football Network. Can we do that over? Football sounded like I was the bitch in the club. What the hell was that? Anyway, football. All right, our next.
Sorry, you guys rolling? Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, guys, our next question comes from Kenny_. All right, guys, our next question comes from Kenny_FF Rules. And once again, this show is strictly based on you guys. Send in your questions. We have our Twitter, which our handle is your. Stop. I don't remember what it was.
This is what you're going to do. You're going to voice over.